Hi, on today's episode of Living Life Out Loud, we have Georgina Lewin, a woman that has defied all odds, challenged all stereotypes, a firefighting woman who is committed to be a beacon of change.
So, welcome to the podcast Living Life Out Loud.
Thank you for having me. I'm quite excited.
Georgina? Brilliant.
Yeah.
So, I'm Claire, and
Nice to meet you.
we're going to have this conversation today. So, what I've been asking every single person, which I always ask, is just tell me about who Georgina is.
So, I think for me, Georgina is just finding out who she is.
Interesting.
She's
Love
a work
that.
in progress.
Okay.
So, I've spent so long saying yes to lots of other people and living my life through their lens, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And now I'm finally coming to the part, I think, where it's my time, my era, learning what I actually like to do, what I want to do, saying no to anything that's not that. So I'm quite excited to see where...
You're saying the right yeses, that's what it is. You're saying the yeses that are your yeses.
Yeah.
I love that. I love that you're in that journey at the moment. It's very similar to mine in the last 18 months. That's what I've been focusing. So I'm so keen to hear about this kind of work in progress.
Yeah, it's exciting.
Yeah, it's so exciting.
To be honest, I don't think I've ever been as conscious about myself as I have been before. So, like, every step of my life, I think coming up to this point now, I'm 34 now, but I think every step of my life, it's been onto the next thing, onto the next thing, onto the next thing. And I'm just kind of, where do I want to go? What do I want to do? I'm comfortable in the fire service, which is a really important thing to me. And now, just this last year, got my personal training qualification, so it's all into fruition. I'm about to buy my house this year as well.
Amazing.
So it's just all coming together. Which is so yeah, I'm excited for the next, let's say, year. 2025 is the year.
Yeah,
So,
it is, and I think a lot of people are. I'm 35 as well, so I turned 35 last month, and I think a lot of people around our age, or women around our age, are kind of now coming into their
own.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know it sounds really mental, but that's what it is, and I think it's, you know, you said you're settled in the fire service, you've got your person, you're buying your house, all these are really good, you know, achievements as well, things that you're clearly really interested in, but it's also about finding what are the things that I want to do and how do I want my life to look.
Yeah, irrespective of what society wants it to look like. Because I've had that massive pressure, I think, through society, through family, through friends, through the outside lens of what my life should look like, and it hasn't turned out like that. So it's kind of navigating, actually, this is my life. How I choose to live it will be how it will turn out, if that makes sense.
Agree, yeah.
So yeah, it's exciting.
Okay, so apart from those other things, what other things have you kind of gone, I'm saying yes to?
Living, I think. Living, it's so strange. It is really, really strange. I think it takes a lot, and I think, I mean, I talk a lot in my fitness about the change in my physical body from turning 30 and beyond, but also the mental change, like your hormonal change, you know, the pressure, like I said, the pressures of having children, if you've got children, if you haven't got children, settling down, if you're not, if you know, is there something wrong? There's not actually. It's just about, okay, who I am, what I want, and what my life's okay if it doesn't look like my friends, or if it doesn't look like the person on the telly. You know, it doesn't have to be like that. We're all different, we're all individuals, and we celebrate that. And that's what's amazing about talking to people and learning their journeys, I think, and thinking, well, actually, I don't have to be like this person. I am me. I've got different capabilities, I've got different strengths, different weaknesses, and that's what makes us all work together. Do you know what I mean? And come together and create this amazing thing called life.
You know, differences is why it's so you know, beautiful, because the fact is, if we were all the same, how
so boring
would that be?
Yeah.
Like, colours
Yeah.
is what we want. We want colourful
Definitely.
lives and environments, and we want to learn new things and enrich our lives. If we're all doing the same thing,
gets very stagnant, doesn't it? Very quickly.
Yeah, it does. It's crazy. And I just wanted to go back to something that you said, which I thought was, when you said, I just want to, what your focus is living, and you said, which is strange, and I thought, but why is it strange?
Because for me anyway, I've been on a autopilot or on a conveyor belt of other people's wants and needs for so long, you know, and it's kind of, you know, put it very obvious. The one big thing, me being a firefighter, that was put off for so long. That was put off probably. I could have joined when I was 18. Put it off till I was 30 because people, or I allowed people to put me off. So it's kind of, no, I'll do it as long as I do it when I'm 30, then that's okay. And everything happens for a reason. I'm a big believer in timing. I'm a big believer in having faith, and it will happen when it happens. If you've got something in your brain and you want to do it or you want to see it happen, it will happen. You know, put it out there and it will come, even if you least expect it, kind of thing. But I think we get so bogged down with, again, on the rat race, let's say, seeing what other people are doing, and actually just take the time to go inward. You know, does it feel right? Is it okay? We don't listen to our bodies enough, I don't think, and it's about taking the time. And living doesn't mean breathing, if that makes sense. Does that make sense? Like, we wake up in the morning, we have our breakfast, we have our coffee, we go to work. If we go to work, we look after the kids, we come home. Do you know what I mean? We might watch the telly or go to the gym. Do you know what I mean? And then we go to bed, and then it's just a revolving cycle.
Conveyor belt,
Whereas actually there's so many other things. Like, as soon as I go out in the green, like, you know, just go out in nature and you hear the sounds, and do you know what I mean? We're so stuck in city life, and don't get me wrong, it's amazing, and it's a society, and we all, you know,
opportunities,
it's a purpose.
there's things around, and there's convenience as well.
But we're so much more than what we see every day, if that makes any sense. And we don't realise the power and the strength that we've got, because we're so, or I am, used to be anyway, so, okay, I've got to be on the next thing, I've got to be on the next thing, I've got to be on the next thing. And it doesn't always have to be like that. It's just about, you know, taking the time and just seeing that there is more to life than not being horrible, going it, watching the telly, you know, watching the same thing.
It's really funny you say that, because like in the last 18 months I've cut down my television watching. I still watch really rubbish things like Love Island every night, because sometimes I just need some like something, you know, just to get me through like switch it off moment. Sometimes I might still watch a series that I really want to, but I've cut down a lot, and I've actually, for me, started watching like more sport and stuff, like because I'm finding it interesting, because I love to like analyse how somebody has won, if that makes sense. I like to see it. It's all really, I like that, but I've really cut down watching that mundane, get in, sit around, do that. I might do the washing up, do dinner, go to bed, and it's like that every single day. And I think really kind of finding your key interests, or things that to you are what you really connect to, whether that's going to the gym or reading a book or going for a walk or whatever it is, that there's more to life than just doing this conveyor belt of everything that everybody else is doing.
I mean, I grew up as well, like when I turned 18, I've never been a big drinker, I've never been, you know, a big, I don't know, like most people my age when they turned 18, they were like, let's go up Broad Street, let's go, do you know what I mean, let's go arcading, let's go out, let's go and get drunk, let's, you know, we're having an amazing time. And I was like, body doesn't need that, really. Do you know what I mean? I've always been quite conscious, and actually knowing what your body needs and what it wants, or what you think it wants, because that's what everyone else is doing. Sometimes it's a lonely road when you find out actually what you enjoy versus what anyone else enjoys. But you're staying true to yourself, and then even though it's the uncomfortability of potential loneliness or not being able to, you know, like you mentioned Love Island. I don't watch Love Island, so sometimes, like, around the mess table, if they're talking about Love Island, or at the minute they're talking about traitors, like, that's on the telly.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
And I'm like, I don't watch that, so I can't really conversate in this.
Yeah.
But there's always issues that you can relate it to back to you, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
You don't actually have to do the thing that other people are doing to make it.
You can still take an interest in it, can't you? It's not like, well, I don't do that, so I'm just gonna just not get involved in it. You can. There's, with any conversation, it can go off into lots of different areas, and you don't know, you might learn something from it. I mean, might not learn too much from Love Island, but
well, you might do.
You never know. You never know. But at the same time, is that, like, it's just being aware that people's current focuses or their interests aren't the same as your own. I'm a big believer. I'm a big learner, so I like to learn a lot of things.
Yeah.
So I'm quite happy to learn something new.
Yeah.
So I'm okay to kind of go into conversations that are about something that I don't know. If I then at the end don't find it interesting, then I don't find it interesting. But I still learned something from that conversation, even if it's not something that going into it is something that I would be, you know, really keen on. Yeah. So I just wanted to go back to, like, the whole, you know, you becoming a firefighter. You wanted to go when you was 18.
Well, I wanted to go when I was 6.
Okay, so
which is impossible.
I don't think that's possible at that time.
No, it's really not. No, no. I used to say to my mum. I remember a few times when she used. I know I think it's an 18, to be honest. Backdraft, the 90s firefighter film. And I remember watching that when I was really young. I was like, I want to do that.
Obsessed.
And then Fireman Sam. And then, I want to do that. And then, no, you can't do that. No, you can't do that. And I remember the distinct words from my parents. You're not going to do that. You're not going to do that. You don't want to do that. You won't find it interesting. And then still in my teens, growing up, I'm going to do that. I'm going to do that. Still researching when because the recruitment wasn't open for a long time.
Oh, yeah.
And so it was like, no, you're not going to do that. You won't do that. And then it finally opened, and I was like, okay, let's go for it. What, you know, I'm quite open-minded, so I don't kind of go in it. I know that it's going to happen. You've got quiet confidence. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I love that.
And I applied, and it took about 18 months to 2 years. To be fair, it was a long process, but you just kind of think, I'm there now. You know, from the 6-year-old that, like, you know, when I was at school seeing the firefighters do stop, drop and roll and thinking, oh my God, that's what I want to do. It looks so much fun. And then watching Backdraft and thinking, that doesn't scare me. That actually looks really exciting. Because there's a lot of people that say to me, like, does it scare you? You know, does it scare you? And a lot of people run away from danger when we're actually putting ourselves into it.
Yeah.
But I think of the danger element. I think of the people that I'm helping. And
good.
I feel very, very privileged to be in that position. So, like, there's been numerous times, to be fair, when I've been with somebody, and I'm so glad that I'm that person that's been there for them, because I know, might sound big-headed, but I know how caring I am.
Yeah.
And how much thought and effort I put in to make sure that, you know, if that was, regardless of who it is, it's a scary time. Do you know what I mean? And I'm that person that's been chosen to be in that moment with that person, and that's just a massive privilege for me. So I don't really think of the danger, I think of the end point. It does get exciting because I am kind of an adrenaline junkie, but it is, it's the end result really, to make sure that everyone's okay and we're making the world a better place, or I'm making the world a better place.
And I just want to add just what you said. I don't think it's being big-headed. I think if you know, sometimes you know that you're a caring person, you can and knowing that that's a strength of yours, and utilising that to the best of your ability to support that outcome is, you know, it's a really good thing that you can recognise it, and you can actually go, no, I'm choosing this part of the strong part of me to support this person in this time. So, you know, pressures, or, you know, going into wanting to be a firefighter and you choosing to go, I wouldn't say that it's constantly communicated out in schools to, or should we say, young girls to become a firefighter. Okay, it is a very male-dominated sector, which is fine.
Yeah.
But what would you like? You know, with maybe with your parents or whoever saying, "Oh no, you won't become that. You don't want to do that." What do you say? Whether it's firefighting or any other kind of, service or sector, of somebody saying no, or that information just not being targeted to them. What advice? What do you think you could give to
I think, can you do the job? If you can't do the job, then maybe it's not for you, irrespective of your sex, of your gender, of your, your capabilities. If you can do whatever's expected of you, it shouldn't matter what you look like. It shouldn't matter what genitals you have. It shouldn't matter who you are. It shouldn't matter whether you've got tattoos. Do you know what I mean? It shouldn't. If you can do the job, then it's a practical job. If you're strong enough, and that's a misconception as well. Sorry, if you're strong enough. So yes, it does take a lot of mental resilience, and it does take a lot of physical strength sometimes. Because the kit's not light. But
it doesn't look. It looks really heavy. To be honest.
But you do get used to it, and I think it's just determination and grit that gets you through, because you just think, like, I always put it to people, say, "Oh, how do you do it?" And I'm like, it's not about how do I do it. It's if somebody's in trouble, do I want them to be in a better place or not? Do you know what I mean? And if that person is capable of making that happen, then who is anybody else to tell them the opposite? So, like, I remember some people do call me delusional sometimes, because I do believe in the whole, soft, fluffy clouds life. It's just positivity, and there is some bad times as well. There is some, down times, but we get through them. And, it's peaks and troughs, isn't it? Highs and lows, and I
don't think it's delusional. I'm somebody that believes that. I'm somebody that, for me, doesn't believe that everybody can be happy all the time.
No.
But I do believe that if you are happy most of the time, then you're going to have a better quality of life. It's like thinking glass half full or glass half empty.
Yeah.
I try to always focus on the glass half full, optimistic side. But I don't necessarily think it's delusion. I think it's you're aware that there are challenges and issues and things can happen, and it's going to happen to everybody in their lives at whatever in any situation, but kind of wanting to be positive, and by actually actively being positive is something different. It's choosing as well to know that
it's going to be all right.
It's going to be all right.
Yeah. So I think with I love it, to be honest, because when I do have, because it hasn't been easy. It has been it hasn't been very pretty. Some of the times, like, I have been in tears quite a lot during the fire service, especially at the beginning, just trying to get used to the way of life, and cool. But then it comes back like me. It's about me. It's not about you. I'm here because I believe that I can do a good job. I'm here because it's my life and not yours. And I think that's what I'd say to anybody who wants to do something that are potentially being put off by other people, because they're not you. They don't know you like you know you. And until you feel that it's not for you, then that's when you can take a step back. But until you feel that, doesn't really matter what anyone else thinks.
Yeah, and I think I'm a big believer. Just try it.
Yeah.
Just try and go for it. Don't do it, half-assed or anything like that.
No.
Just try it.
And educate yourself as well.
Yeah, educate yourself on what it might look like, etc., or what you might need to do, or go network, go experience different situations. If there's something that you're really interested in, and you might be, I don't know, for whatever reason, people say no, we shouldn't do that, or just do what it takes for you to learn about something. Just go out and have a look. Why not?
And just don't be beaten by the first hurdle. Do you know what I mean?
And mistakes always happen.
Yeah, of course. Because I can't remember the quote directly, to be fair, but oh my gosh, who was it? I don't know if it was about the light bulb or something, but it said something about somebody failed something 100 times, and then they not failed, learned, because I don't like the word failed. You learn, you don't fail. But you can do something 100 times, and then the 101 time it might work out. Do you know what I mean? So you've learned how not to do it, but then you've perfected it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
so
definitely.
It's always, if you believe in your heart that it's meant to be this way, or you want to do this thing, that's up to you, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know, and we're strong enough, I believe. I love the word indomitable spirit. Like, I've heard that years ago, and it just keeps, like, because we just don't give up as humans until it's over. You know, it's not over until it's over, kind of thing. So yeah, just keep going. We were built with strength. We've got a lot of capacity. I think society has not softened us down a little bit, but it's like it made things a little bit easier than they could be sometimes, and we're not aware of a lot of things that we could be aware of. But yeah, it's very important for us to kind of find that resilience. Not too much, because, you know, too much of anything isn't a good thing, but it's just about, just self-belief in yourself, really, and just finding that and blocking out the noise, blocking out the outside noise.
I agree.
Because I said to somebody yesterday, actually, I was talking about, and she was on about the gym, and she was like, we was in the sauna, I love going in the sauna, and we was in the sauna, and she's talking, and she's always goes in the sauna, she never goes in the gym. And I said, okay, then I'll have to take your number and we'll have a session together, and I'll teach you certain things and help you along the way. It's not a problem. But I said, why don't you? And she said, it's kind of like a wall of words, and she just doesn't want to break through that wall of words, if that makes sense, because it's too tough. So whereas I'm like, as soon as you just walk through, they're behind you then. Do you know what I mean? The further you walk forward, the further the words have gone away.
Yeah.
And if you just, no, I'm okay. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You are okay. You wouldn't be put on this earth if you weren't okay. Do you know what I mean? We're all okay. And we've just got to remember that we have got a strength inside us. Sometimes we're not aware of, but we do need to remember that.
And I think, you know, some of the common things that I tend to, what I've talked on this podcast, is that women specifically, we have a lot of limiting beliefs, and that could be from our personal background, our culture, our community, what we see on social media, which completely can drive and turn somebody's view quite easily. And we have all these limiting beliefs, and it's like what you're saying, it's that wall of words. Sometimes you just gotta go through them and then realise how far away you are from them. But you would never be able to do that if you just didn't go through them the first time. And that's really, and I think that's with all the kind of limiting beliefs, all the kind of doubts and self-belief that we don't necessarily always have. I think just by just, I don't know, like just punching through that wall, just try it out.
And it doesn't have to be a big thing. Like,
it could just be the first step.
Yeah, definitely. It is. You just take one step and then do, you know, then go back. Okay, that was okay. I've dipped my toe in the water, and then we'll put a foot in, and then we'll take it out, and then we'll go up to the calf, and then we'll take it out. Do you know what I mean? You're still making progress, irrespective of how slow it is.
And also don't compare yourself to somebody else's progress as well, because I think sometimes we tend to, like, you know, like stop too early because we don't have patience for our own journey.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, sense. I've always said, like, when I've gone through mental health problems previously, and it's like my heart's not going to stop beating, and until that does, then I'm doing myself a disservice by not trying to do the best that I can. It's hard, don't get me wrong, it is sometimes hard, but we're still here, which means we've still got a chance, which means anything's possible to a certain degree, you know. So it is quite amazing. I find it quite amazing. But the limiting beliefs, I think, are always from outside, aren't they? Like you said, we grow up, and it's, I use the word indoctrinated, and it's quite a strong word, but you don't, like I said, I'm only just finding me, I feel like, you know, when I'm 34, so that's a long time, not a long time, but a long time for me on this earth already, and I've spent a lot of it not being the true me. And when, I love it, to be fair, when we go into schools and see the kids and they're like, oh my god, it's a girl, and even the boys say that, and I think
but that's also good, because that's teaching everyone, isn't it, that that's teaching everybody. It's not just being a good role model for, the young girls, for example. It's being a role model for everyone, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. And it's like I said, it's a privilege, and I don't take it lightly at all. Do you know what I mean? I do. And I think if we can live life bringing, as cheesy as it might sound, bringing sparkle to everybody, like, it can make the world a better place, can't it?
Yeah, I agree. So what do you think is your key drive what is your key focus at the moment? So I know 2025 is your year. Yeah, you've got your house, you've got everything else, like, you're settled, you've got your personal training, your firefight, all settled, you've got a good focus. What is your key focus? What do you want to really, put out there?
I think it might sound a bit strange, but either not resisting or not pushing, just letting things come naturally, not being afraid of, like you said about being patient, like stopping too early or thinking that, things aren't coming just because you can't see them yet. Things are in fruition, just because you can't see it doesn't mean it's not there and it's not making its way. And I think for me, it's just being patient and just enjoying my time, enjoying the process, my transitional process. I've only just got my qualification, but I've been training since I was, God knows how long, over 10 years, over 15 years. So I have a lot of knowledge and a lot of personal, knowledge on what works, what doesn't work, how to speak to people, let's say.
Yeah, good,
the understanding and the openness that, like you said, not everyone's journey is the same. When I was in the fire service as well, I got diagnosed with dyslexia and dyspraxia, and I'm currently getting diagnosed with ADHD. So it's kind of like all those labels that we put on ourselves, and I've never had that before. So just to try and, on me again, do you know what I mean, without these labels, and what can I add to the world that, from me at my heart, if that makes sense, not because somebody's told me, or not because, so it's just, and I was just going to say it sounds selfish, and it doesn't sound selfish, because again, it's these narrating stories that we're told, and I just want to give me to the world and to see what magic I can make to other people. Do you know what I mean? So,
no, definitely. I mean, you speak so, like, passionately about everything that you've talked about, like, but your personal training is like, you really want to make that positive impact because you felt it, if that makes sense. Not just about, I don't know, cash or, building business. It's the way that you're talking about it, and even the way that you talked about firefighting. It is so connected to your deep core that you actually want somebody to benefit from it, however long or however that journey is shaped. It's really, meets them and their needs, and through your experience, through your own story, you can support that and them through that. And with, like, your, ADHD or potential ADHD diagnosis.
High chances of it. Yeah.
So how do you think it's, even though, like you said, it's like you've got all these labels, but you're still you at the end of it, you're still going to go forward. Do you think now that you've kind of recognised that, or you've been diagnosed with these different areas, do you think that by being aware, do you feel more, what's the word I'm thinking of, like, do you feel like more yourself now, or do you feel like you're just the same?
I think I'm just the same, to be honest. I feel like it gives the outside world a reason for why I am the way that I am.
Interesting. I like how you said that.
Because sometimes it is quite difficult to get your point across if somebody doesn't understand or realise. I remember, and so many people used to say it to me throughout my life, and you're just G, you're just George, do you know what I mean? Like, I am me. There's no one like you. But it's kind of like, that's that is me and it's always going to be me. But also it's amazing to see that people were saying how individual I am and how unique I am, but there's so many different people with so many different traits that are similar to me, and you've just got to find your tribe, you know, that match that kind of thing, but also be okay. And now I think labels they can work either way, can't they? You know, we can either cling to them so much that we lose ourselves,
Definitely.
or we can be like, well, that's a tool, like I said, for other people, you know, and that's kind of where I am with that, I think.
Okay, interesting. So my final question, which I like to ask everybody, what does living life out loud mean to you?
I think it's just being authentic and truthful to yourself, I think. So again, weirdly, the way my brain works, living out loud, you might not always be loud. You might just you might just be, you know, tucked up in a corner somewhere with a book or with your headphones, or just meditating, or, you know, having a quiet time, and that's you being true and authentic to yourself in that moment, being who you want to be without harming anybody. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's just seeing you at your core, and if you have you know, a thought of like, no, I don't want to do this, and that's okay, but it's going to upset other people, that's you living out loud to yourself, you know. So it's just being you, who you want to be, not who you think you should be.
Yeah, and I think that's definitely, I think anybody, if anyone wants to, you know, really wants to live their life out loud, I think the only way they're going to do it is if they actually choose that it's their life, that they are living out loud, and it's not anybody else's. It's who you want to be, how you want it to look, what you want to come from, what legacy you want to leave behind, how you want to make an impact in communities, how you just want to you know, be. Like, that's literally it.
And that's okay, isn't it? You know, we are all the same. We aren't all the same, and like we said at the beginning, that's what's amazing and beautiful about this world, because we learn. And I always get, oh God, you're nosy, you ask loads of questions, and I'm like, yeah, but I want to learn. Like, if I don't ask questions, then I'm not going to learn, I'm not going to know. And if I know and I'm more educated, then I can help you more. Do you know what I mean? And again, I think my central message, which is quite interesting, is that it's just always about helping and giving. Like, I am a person of service, and I think if we all lived more like that, as well as being true to ourselves, do you know what I mean? There's a happy medium. There is a happy medium. But yeah, we'd get along so much.
It'd be nice.
It would be lovely, wouldn't it, to be fair? But I think, it looks different to everyone.
Well, I'm looking for, I would like to eventually get an update on all these things, like your house and what 2025 looks like to you. So I'm really excited to see, like, how you've, I want to say grown, but not grown, but does that develop how you've become, or...
I am excited, to be fair, because it's so strange from it's amazing, to be honest. Just it's interesting for everyone, and I love that about everyone. So it's the same for you. Do you know what I mean? Like, it is the same for everyone in their journey, to see where they started, or their starting point, and then again. It's like it's like that for the gym. You know, your gym journey. You might not be, and again, I'm not focused on, and it might get me into trouble a little bit, but it's not always focused on weight loss. It's focused on, do you know what I mean?
I totally
building
agree.
your mind. It's focused on, do you feel happy? Do you enjoy what you're doing? If you don't enjoy what you're doing, there is a certain part that, you know, it might not be enjoyable, but there's a purpose to it, you know. And I always say to women, to be fair, lifting weights, and they're like, you can go heavier than that. Even some men, you know, you can go heavier than that. You don't have to go too heavy. But you're doing yourself a disservice by not using your body for what it's made for. We're built to move, you know, and our neurons aren't going to fire and grow, and, you know, we're not going to feel how we're meant to feel, as weird as it sounds, if we don't allow our bodies to do what it's meant to do.
Well, thank you very much for coming in today.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you.
Good. Thank you.
That's it.
Cool. Thank you.
You good with that?
I'm good. How are you?
Yeah, I see I can waffle on for ages, I can.
And me. What time is it? Is it gone off past?
I've more than likely gone over.
Oh yeah, no. It's...
Do you know what's really funny? I've literally gone over the exact amount of time
with the other one. Oh, have you? Oh god, okay, nice.
5 minutes. So I was like,
right.
I think I've got to used to like where the 30
where
minutes has come from now.
Yeah, no, that's
let me just go get tea.
Cool. Oh. How was it for you? Okay.
Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah.
You were my third one today, so.
Yeah.
How was it?
Yeah, good, thank you.
Right.
Yeah, good. I hope. I did. Well, we both waffled on, didn't we? To be fair.
Keep forgetting that one day. I've stopped that one. Happy with it?
I think so. Yeah. I mean, until it comes back. But yeah, no.
Editing guy.
Oh, lovely.
Be amazing.
Yeah, no.
Episode 1, 2, 3, full stop. Yeah, that was it.
Yeah, no.